Hello to all my American Horror Story historians. My name is EJ and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about American Horror Story NYC. We have another 2 episodes to dive into, so let's talk about Smoke Signals and Blackout. Real quick, at the top of this video, I want to say sorry for delaying this coming out. I usually try to get these at the evening that they air, but I went to a concert last night to see Alaska Thunder F because I don't want to get, in trouble on YouTube. Yes, a world famous drag queen, winner of All Stars 2 from Drag Race. An amazing show. I had such a good time, but I am really upset I did not get to watch this episode with you guys like immediately. This was 2 jam-packed episodes. A lot happened. Like, we got more of that weird Mai Tai killer. We found some conspiracy theory stuff that I don't really care about, and more cop drama than you could see on NBC from a Dick Wolf show. Yeah, I liked this for the most part. There is still way too much cop drama in here for me. I get a little bored when it's just Detective Mustache looking for whatever the hell he is looking for, and then the leather bar scene where he's whipping the guy. I thought I would have been into Russell Tovey doing all that, but his character is so frustrating and annoying that I'm starting to not find him as attractive. But on the other end, I'm like, Gino, he is a fine piece of man. Like, I like these characters. I like this universe. They're really doing something different with this horror story. Yeah, I've seen the complaints. It is not as traditional horror as many people may think, but horror comes in many forms. We're watching gay men get systematically brutalized through early 80s NYC, and then the AIDS, the HIV epidemic, pandemic, crisis is just kind of slowly bubbling up in the back of this season. So you're really starting to feel the horror. No, the horror may not relate to you personally. There are some people who are just like, well, this isn't horror to me. It could be horror to somebody else. This is scary for a lot of people, especially the ones who dealt with this. We have a generation of queer men and queer women, just queer human beings in general, who went through this time period, who still have the PTSD, who still have the scars from dealing with this era. So I definitely think it is a horror-based season still. Yes, there's a lot of cop drama, and I will complain that Kal Penn's character is completely useless, and I don't want to see him anymore, even though I like Kal Penn. I'm just, I'm just being honest with how I feel. I like this season. I know a lot of people don't, but if you don't want to watch it, just keep watching my reviews. We'll kind of chit-chat about this all the time. I like this episode. I really liked the fire stuff at the end of the first one, at the end of Smoke Signals, which led us into Blackout. There was a lot here, and then the end of Blackout, when Whitley, or whoever the Mai Tai killer is, I always forget his name, when he's up in that elevator with them 2 boys, I was just like, this is stressful. This whole season is very tense, very stressful. There's a little bit of cruising, which everyone has mentioned, but there's also a little bit of a Seven vibe, especially when we see that one corpse in the second episode. Yeah, I like what's going on here. This is definitely a strong start. We are 4 episodes in now, and I haven't been completely let down. That is amazing, like, for track record on Horror Story. Usually by now I'm like, ugh, this one episode. But so far, I like the characters. I like the universe. Now, we're done with this review section. Let's get into the recap. We have episode 3, Smoke Signals, beginning with Fran and Hannah just kind of talking about conspiracy theories. I know, as soon as I heard Operation Paperclip, my eyes rolled into the back of my head. I am not a conspiracy theory person. This just doesn't speak to me as much as this does play into the part. There's a lot of people who thought, like, Ronald Reagan invented AIDS and crack just to, like, kill everyone kind of vibe. I mean, quoting Kanye before he was crazy. But yeah, there is the conspiracy theory, especially at this time period, about people systematically targeting gay men through a disease. I understand here, the scenes are cool, but just something about these 2 characters I'm not completely gelling with. I'm not, like, 100% in. Seeing Hannah later on kind of interact with the killer and in that hospital scene, that's where I was starting to see her character kind of flesh out a little bit more, and she's playing a very important role. She's about to be the doctor who discovers this disease that's killing gay men. I like the idea of her character, but just this whole intro scene, I was just like, oh my goodness, just can we get through this conspiracy theory stuff? Thankfully, it doesn't take too hard. I'm not like thinking I'm back in Red Tide, but it's definitely a good chunk of this intro that I was just kind of like, meh, Next up in this episode, we have a series of interrogations. That one guy, I believe his name's Stu, he gets out of Sam's basement, he goes to the police, and it's, of course, Patrick because there was no other cops available, I guess. But yeah, Patrick usually takes an interest in these cases, and he goes up to Sam and he says, I'm gonna do something, and Sam's just like, bitch, Zachary Quinto's like, child, I will dissect you, basically. Like, he was so nonchalant, like, oh, is the music too loud? I love Quinto when he gets to be a shady bitch here. He is so good at what he does. It's really interesting, and I really like the Patrick stuff, trying to do the investigation. Then he gets home with Gino, and they're still kind of conflicting. We're finding out that Patrick has a thing where he still likes very anonymous, random sex because there's a thrill to it. He is so deeply closeted that he is still getting kicks out of doing things secret. He has a man who obviously loves him. I know last week I called him his husband, and honestly, they feel very husbands at times, but also not, because they're fighting and they're bickering, which I guess is part of a relationship. But I just don't understand what Gino sees in Patrick. I would have let that boy go, do his own thing, and Patrick tries to do his own thing and tries to do his own investigation and leads him down a pretty scary path. While Patrick is whipping some random boy in a dungeon kind of vibe. Oh, Patrick, oh my god, what am I doing? He really makes me think of his character from Looking, where I was absolutely annoyed with Russell Tovey episode after episode. But while all that's happening, Gino and Adam, who I'm starting to believe are the best pairs of this season, are starting to try to track down Big Daddy and the Mai Tai Killer. We're finding out more about the Mai Tai Killer and how dangerous he can be, especially when we get to the end of this episode. But Big Daddy decides to lock everyone into the club, and I'm like, holy shit, what's going on right now? Since Big Daddy decided to lock everyone in, they're also in there with Whitley, I believe his name is. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, if I cannot remember, I'm gonna call him the Mai Tai Killer or the Queen, the evil guy. Oh my goodness, what a journey he is. But yeah, he's also trapped in there in the burning building because Big Daddy locks them in, lights it on fire, and I'm like, for him not feeling real, he does not feel real. Big Daddy feels like an apparition, a literal metaphor for the shame or maybe the victims. He's something, so why would he trap them in there? What was up with the fire? For questions about that, but that leads them to the hospital. There's a lot going on in this hospital scene. I mean, Theo and Adam are bumping heads, but also you could tell there's a love there between them that is really starting to bud. And we also have the Mai Tai Killer going after Gino, and they're chasing each other. This leads Gino to getting locked into a morgue, basically one of those little things where you put the bodies to freeze. Oh wow, I thought he was dead. At the end of this episode, I was just like, my dude said, I'm gonna give you the easy way out, freeze. And I'm just like, wow, everybody clap. Like, I cannot believe he's about to do this. And then the episode ended, and I was just like, you cannot kill off Gino. He's one of the best characters. And thankfully, episode 2 starts with a bit of a different vibe. So now the episode 4 begins. Blackout. Oh, yay. Fun. Patrick saves Gino, which is great. And then they wake up in the morning and noticing lesions on each other. Patrick has some, and Gino discovered some. And it's scary, because it's weird. This season is so odd because we know what this means. We know where this is heading, which also makes it a bit more morose, where I feel like I can't like any character because I feel like they're all going to die, which ties back into a lot of feelings people had when dealing with this time period. So the lesions are there, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. But Gino is still on the hunt. A good chunk of that middle episode for Blackout is all about Theo, Sam, and Adam and their petty gay drama. Theo is tired of Sam's BS and decides he's basically falling in love with Adam. There is a connection there. So Theo's like, baby, I'm going. Sam, bye. Sam does not take that lightly. He's one of them bitches who says, I will not be ignored, Dan. He gives me very like, I will kill your boy. So he goes to Adam and basically says, I will pay you off to leave Theo. And he's just like, nah, sorry, I'm going to stay with him. And Sam's just like, he's going to get bored and leave you, which is very common in the gay community. It's interesting. I see Sam's character. There's times it's a good Zachary Quinto character where I disagree with him completely, but also go, sis has a point. He's not completely wrong. Oh, and then moving on from there, throuple drama. Maybe at one point all three of you should just get together and have a weird BDSM relationship. Who knows? But besides that, I don't know. Patrick comes out to his boss, and I'm just like, yay, I was waiting for Penn to be like, I am also gay. And then I would be like, wow, plot twist. But yeah, that happens. But this also leads Patrick coming back home to Gino, and Gino saying, yo, bro, what's up with this leather mask? hey, your wife, Leslie Grossman, showed it to me. She's kind of going crazy. She thinks you're the masked killer man. What's going on? And Patrick's still kind of deflecting, kind of hinting at what his real truth is and that he likes that anonymous sex, and that's leading him down a very dangerous path. Cruising in this anonymous sex culture was bad in 81. It's even worse in 2022 at times when you can go on apps and have headless hookups if you wanted to. Not literal headless hookups. But yeah, I'm interested in where this Patrick story is going. What's up with his wife? Why is Barbara always just like snitching on her for something? I'm like, Babs, what's going on, sis? Are you really that homophobic still that you're trying to get him in trouble? There's something going on there with Barbara, Gino, and Patrick. There's, again, I like all these like elements that are here. There's a lot of twisted webs we are weaving, and I am into it. This also has a nice tie-in at the end to, oh, have you been in close connections with cats? Which, again, we know where this is leading to. The Gino stuff is very intriguing. Gino is such a great main character of the show. I feel for him. I like following him. I like his journey. I want him to kick Patrick to the side. I wish maybe him and Adam could get together. The age gap there is a little bit too much for me. But again, I like this. Oh, and then the end had our Mai Tai killer, Whitley, coming in there and just murdering people in an elevator during a blackout. Sis is crazed. He is crazy, giving me a little Buffalo Bill energy of just the sickness here. Also a little bit of I Can't Dress to Kill. Was it that one movie? I think it's a Brian De Palma movie that Michael Caine's in it and he's dressed as a woman. There's a lot of elements to this killer that I'm getting and I'm feeling, and he's creepy. Also, we saw her a little bit talking to Klaus Nomi. What's up with the heavyset woman who's saying something's coming? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, but I am enjoying the journey and I'm enjoying watching our Mai Tai killer be disgusting. After Dahmer, I swore I was done with killers killing gay people, but American Horror Story NYC has got me for at least 2 more episodes. Smoke Signals and Blackout were 2 strong episodes. I thought they were very well connected. They kind of mushed in my brain a little bit too. So yeah, I like what's happening and I hope you all do as well. What did you think of my review? What do you think of these 2 episodes? Share your feelings down in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel because I make videos like this every single week, and give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. All right, everyone, let's talk about American Horror Story Down Below.